Hi everyone and welcome to Uncharted Collection, Drake's Deception, Brutal Difficulty Walkthrough. This is Chapter 6, The Chateau. So this is the mission where we are in the chateau and it gets burned down by the end. That you're going to see in the next chapter, because we actually end this chapter with some puzzles as we begin it. Now this puzzle is really easy. I don't have to explain it because I'm just showing it to you. The second puzzle in this level can be a little disorienting, but I also going to show you the solution, so there is no trouble. And in this chapter, since if I leave all the exploration, would have become a 40-minute chapter when it's not necessary at all to be like that. I'm just gonna do the old just puzzles and combat thing. So we go through the first combat. This is just getting out of the well, and we are faced with a lot of enemies that we can still kill, but we are not going to, because we are just going to go to this position. By doing that run up that you saw me doing there, yeah, I just alerted enemies. But by falling, see, they're shooting me from over there, but by falling to this position, see that this pillar here, all the enemies can only get up from that place when that enemy got up. See? They can only get up from that place. So you just stay here and you kill all of them. Yeah, this could feel like cheesing the map, but let me assure you guys, I have no fucking intent on showing some kind of pro skills or something like you could imagine that I have, and I don't. This difficulty, brutal difficulty, is me testing everything and trying to find some way to cheese it, because that's the way that's going to accomplish getting the trophy, if you care about the trophy, or getting through the difficulty that is a lot to root for alone, not thinking about the trophy, because this is really hard. Even though I said that Uncharted 2 is maybe harder than this one, and this might be the easier Uncharted 3, the easier is only compared to the other two brutal Uncharteds. This is by far the hardest difficulty this year in a game. I have no fucking doubt. I don't even think that prime difficulty in Transformers, even as you get two-shotted or three-shotted, is really hard, because I'm playing a little of that game and you actually level up, as I think that I explained it, or I didn't. Well, you level up and you get better weapons, and that really diminishes the amount of damage that you take and the amount of damage that you give to enemies. So prime difficulty could become not really that hard if you level up. So this is the hardest difficulty of the year, unless something really insane comes out. Sorry, like I heard that Black Ops 3 has a difficulty that is called realistic difficulty, and I read that realistic difficulty, and why am I talking about Call of Duty, right? But bear with me for a second. I read that realistic difficulty is actually one shot, and I can't believe that. I can't believe that they actually did something like that. They actually ramp up from veteran and included a new difficulty that is so fucking hard. That would actually surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me enough to play it and make a walkthrough. Not at all. If you want to see a cool walkthrough on realistic difficulty, Seraphim 17, I'm sure it's going to do. It. But one-shotted in a first-person shooter, I don't think that I ever heard of that difficulty. Like, unless Nightmare mode in Doom. That will be really interesting to see but not so much to play, because I don't. I recognize, and let me say this once, because I only going to talk about Black Ops 3 once. I recognize that the shooting mechanics in the Call of Duty games are maybe one of the best shooting mechanics in the industry at this moment, because they are really, really refined. Most of the times, right? Maybe they fuck up this time, so I don't know, but most of the times they are the best first-person shooting mechanics. And they work really, really well. And that's why the game's still selling, because if the gameplay would be shit, like it will control like shit, then you wouldn't really play it. It doesn't matter that it bears the name of Call of Duty. But like, for example, I have some videos in my playlist that is about Destiny. I played a lot of Destiny with friends, and did raids and all of it before the Taken King came out, because by that time I just realized that I hated Destiny. I hated everything about it. I hated the story. I hated the multiplayer. I hated, but I hated almost everything. But you know what Destiny makes? You know what Destiny makes right? You know what's the single thing that Destiny gets fucking right? Is the shooting mechanics. Like, I will say, other than Call of Duty, or maybe Halo 5, but I haven't played Halo 5, so I can't really talk about it. But the shooting mechanics are top notch in Destiny.
Thanks for the gift, boys.
Like, really, really top notch. It makes the game not feel as repetitive as it would feel if the shooting mechanics were terrible. And it's always fun to go and do a raid with friends, talking over the microphone, and that was always fun. And that's what I displayed in my videos. I think I never displayed a video that wasn't exactly that. I think there is one when I'm doing a mission from a DLC, but I think Bungie did. I think, what the fuck did I just say? I think Bungie did everything wrong with that game, except the shooting mechanics. But everything else, like, they're constantly fixing the fucking game still. What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened to the loot at the beginning of the game? I was in there day one. I started playing day one with friends, and it gradually became a fucking horrible game until they stopped playing altogether. And if you would ask me right now, do I recommend Destiny? No. And you will believe me, guys. You will believe me, because I am the dude that played more than 50 hours, a lot more than 50 hours of Destiny, and now it tells you that don't play it. So who you're gonna believe, right? Like a random review from a guy that didn't even get a lot of multiplayer in, or a 50-hour person that tells you don't play it. Buy something else. Buy some fucking game else. And yeah, I'll stop playing. I'll stop talking about. I already stopped playing. I'll stop talking about Destiny and Call of Duty. But I thought it was interesting that they're going to put a realistic difficulty. I'm intrigued by that fact. So yeah, we're gonna get followed pretty soon. In fact, by the time you're watching this video, I may already put up some videos about the game. I've seen some gameplay. Well, by the time this airs, this is Uncharted 3, guys. By the time this airs, I already have a lot of footage in my Until I'm Bored series about Fallout 4, so yeah. But the thing is, when I'm recording this, I have only watched leaked gameplay about it. So I liked it. I can't say that I didn't, but it fucking looks like Fallout 3. It looks like Fallout 3. It looks like Fallout 3 with better graphics, like with some kind of mod, gigantic graphic mod. I know that this may get people angry, but this opinion, and it's kind of negative. The graphics are cool. I don't have a problem with the graphics, but they are 30 FPS. They're not 60, and the graphics are not that cool to be 30, guys. They are not that cool to be 30. I think the PC version is your best choice. As almost always, right? The PC version is your best choice because you can actually get 60. When the port doesn't actually force you to get 30, right? Some awful, incredible, stupid games that do that, and we have to wait for a mod or a patch or some kind of tool to unlock 60, whatever. So yeah, and by the time you're seeing this, I'm sure I continue Darksiders 2, so I really love that game. I can't express how much I love that game. And maybe you'll ask me why I love that game that much. If you would ask me about it, I would say that it's not great, but it's a lot of it's so cool. It's like a Zelda mixed with God of War, something like that. And maybe the Zelda type stuff, and I didn't die there by some miracle. Maybe the Zelda type stuff is putting some people off with that Darksiders games, because let's be realistic, not everybody likes puzzle and going back to the same areas later to find new places because you got a new item that allows you to go to those places and stuff like that. Some people like more simple stuff, advancing through the game and getting more challenging enemies, and that's it, and that's really okay. In fact, I love that kind of game. I think that the linear experiences are the best games ever. Like if I tell you what are my best games of all times, they are all linear experiences, except for the Planescape Torment RPG, which is, you could say it's linear because the story is the same one. You cannot actually alter it. You can do things differently and approach things with different gameplay techniques, and even you can go through the entire game by just talking, but the story is linear. So yeah, so I just rambled through the entire episode. You saw me where I stand in the video, at the top of the stairs. That's the place in the second big combat. That's the place you have to stand, and you have to be aware that there are a lot of soldiers that are going to come up those stairs. So always keep close to the stairs, and know that is a good strategy, even if you die, because you can die. You can die, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad place to stay. It actually is the best place to stay. So this is the last puzzle of the chapter. Sorry that I ramble about a lot of things, but this is the kind of commentary that I like, when I just rumble away and then come back to the video. Maybe this is not a hard puzzle. You're going to get the solution here, even if I have some trouble myself in the first part. But this is not hard at all. In fact, I remembered a lot of these puzzles from the time that I played them, so maybe that's because they're not hard for me. But you have to make some deductive decisions here, because there is one of the animals that is missing, and you have to kind of deduct that that's the one to place last, of course. And then you have to place these ones. And I know I'm fucking it up right now, and I'm going to check the tiles on the floor. That's going to tell you what tile surrounds the center animal, and the animal is on that, like, see? That right there. So this was chapter 6, guys. We have a lot way to go still. The hardest chapters are coming right about, I will say next chapter. Yeah, next chapter is going to be really troublesome, because the mansion is going to be set on fire, and you're going to be given some checkpoints that are hilariously bad, and some other places where you're just going to get a lot of enemies while the mansion is setting itself on fire. So in Brutal, everything changes. As I mentioned before, if you play this game on easy or explorer, there's a new easier difficulty. It is called explorer. Explorer, easy, normal, hard, or crushing doesn't mean a fucking thing to Brutal, because Brutal is an entire different game. So we'll see each other in chapter 7. Thank you for watching, and take care.
Got it. Good job, kid. Looks inviting.